There is one place where politics is never dull, and that is Waterbury. And it certainly won't be boring next year. We could have a challenge to the sitting mayor, Michael Jarjura, by the president of the Board of Aldermen, J. Paul Vance, Jr. Mr. Vance, thank you for being with us. I should say it's not official that the mayor is going to run again, so you're certainly the first candidate in the ring. And we want to point out, because J. Paul Vance appears on our screen probably more often than you see Dennis House, and that's because your dad is the spokesperson for the state police. So we want to point that out. Well, first of all, tell us why you decided you wanted to be mayor.
Well, I'll tell you, the day after Election Day, this past year, for me, that's like Christmas, because there's so much hope and potential. I mean, whether you were a McCain supporter or an Obama supporter, the whole world is right there in front of you. And I think we need to bring that hope back to Waterbury. I've been on the Board of Aldermen for 4 terms, and I've served with Mayor Jarjura for 4 terms, and I have a great deal of affinity for him. But I think we need to take the next step.
What's he doing wrong?
I don't think it's what he's doing wrong. It's what we can do better. I think we need to really focus on attracting jobs, and I know jobs are leaving the state, they're leaving the country, but we're not doing a good enough job of selling jobs. Our top 3 employers are the city of Waterbury as #1, which is scary, and 2 hospitals that are talking about merging. So we need to have a plan for downtown. We need to have a plan for how we're going to attract businesses, and we can't be behind the 8 ball. We need to compete.
If you were to go to, let's say, a convention of businesses, you know, outside of New England, and you wanted to sell them on Waterbury, what would you say?
You know, you can get fantastic housing in Waterbury for very cheap. Our mill rate is not what it used to be. It used to be frightening. We've balanced the budget for 8 years, and you know what? That's kind of a simple thing. That's kind of like balancing your checkbook. You should be able to do that when you get out of your bed in the morning. But Waterbury has good housing stock. It's a good neighborhoody place to live.
And what kind of things would you do to attract local people to move there?
Well, you know, I had 8 guys in my wedding party, all from Waterbury, all grew up in Waterbury, and now I've been married 4 years, and I'm the only one left. I'm the only one that lives in Waterbury.
Why'd they leave?
They leave for education reasons. They leave because there's not good enough jobs for middle class, people who aspire to be upwardly mobile. The jobs just aren't there. We can't rely on the mall to be our #1 taxpayer and expect people to make $8 an hour and support a family.
When you go out there and you, you know, start campaigning, and let's say that Mayor Jarjura decides to run again, what do you say to that undecided voter? Well, why you're better?
First of all, I mean, if Mayor Jarjura or anyone else runs, it's exciting. I talked to my nephew last night. I had my campaign kickoff, and we had more than 200 people in the room in a down economy a week after the presidential election. And my nephew said, "You're the only one running? That's boring." And I said, "You know what? That's right. It is boring. There should be competition. The mayor or anyone else shouldn't take it as an affront that somebody else wants to run. And what I'm going to do is talk to the voters and say, I've lived here my whole life. I had a chance to go other places, like many other people, but I'm loyal to the city, and I love the city. My wife is, this is a big announcement, my wife is recently expecting. That's a big announcement that we had last night. I want to raise my children in Waterbury the way that my parents raised me, and my wife Michelle's parents raised her.
Where do you see, you know, I mean, obviously the brass business isn't coming back.
It sure isn't.
So if you look ahead 10 years, where do you see Waterbury in your dream world?
You know, I love the fact that we have 2 hospitals, and it'd be great if we could fight and keep 2 hospitals as long as that's economically viable. I think that we should have medical magnet schools in Waterbury and charter magnet schools. A lot of people leave Waterbury when their kids are around 4th or 5th grade because they're afraid of the middle schools. We need to have honors charter middle schools. They're still public schools that allow, if you're a high achiever, a safe, quiet, clean environment to learn. So I think we really need to focus on biotechnology, energy. There's a lot of room in Waterbury to build.
It seems everyone has an opinion on former Governor John Rowland working for the Chamber of Commerce. What do you think about that? You
know, I think we're on the same team right now. We need to pull in the same direction.
Is he doing a good job?
I think it's 6 months in. It's tough to spur economic development in 6 months, especially in this environment. So I think the proof will be in the pudding. You know, people have said I'm a critic of John Rowland. I'm not a critic of John Rowland. I don't know that I would have made that hire or put him directly in that position, but he brings a great value. And let's be honest, if he didn't have any of the problems that he had, we wouldn't be able to afford him. So he brings a great deal of talent. And you know, we'll see 6 months down the road or a year down the road how successful he's going to be.
What do you think the best idea he's had so far? his biggest impact, would you say?
You know, he's done a good job. He has a mailer that he's brought out to a lot of different businesses. And you know, people outside of Waterbury need to know what Waterbury is all about. All they hear about is scandals and some of the mayors of the past. So we need
there
to
is a little history there of corruption.
A little bit scary. The bar is set pretty low. But very affordable place to live, very neighborhoody, unbelievable restaurants. I think we're starting to compete with Hartford when it comes to great restaurants.
Well, that's good to hear. As you go forward here, should you lose a primary to Mayor Jarjura, would you support him or run as an independent?
I'm a Democrat.
You're a Democrat, so you would support the Democratic nominee?
I think, absolutely, absolutely. And I hope he would do the same.
One final question, because everyone's wondering, what does the J stand for and why don't you use it?
Joseph.
Joseph.
And I'm a junior, so I have no choice. You have to ask the lieutenant if you can get the information.
It's his call. All right.
He's a talker. He might tell you the real deal.
All right, J. Paul Vance, nice to see you. Thank you very much. Best of luck.